Hi. Hi, Tom.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, and you?
Yes, I
Are
can
you?
hear you now very loud and clear. Perfect.
Okay. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Okay. I'm not going to speak too much because I don't want to take your time. So go ahead.
Okay. Can you see the presentation?
No.
Not yet. And now?
Now we can see. Yeah, now.
Okay, perfect. Then I start. All right. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. I want to share with you a case we did a couple of years ago together with Heineken, the international beer brand. And it's a case on how consumer insights, so market research, inspired the nightlife experience of tomorrow. First, I will give you some background on what the marketing problem was Heineken was dealing with, and then I will tell you more about how we generated consumer insights, how we did the research to help Heineken with their marketing issue, and of course, what the impact was on Heineken as a brand towards consumers. So let's start with the marketing issue. So Heineken is a beer brand that has always done great marketing. If you look at their marketing efforts, they try to link their brand, their beer brand, to actually three things. First, to movies. Amongst others, James Bond is drinking Heineken in the latest James Bond movies. Secondly, they try to link their beer to sports. They are sponsoring a lot of soccer events, especially. And thirdly, they want to link their beer brand to music, and they sponsor a lot of music festivals. So by linking their brand to music, movies, and sports, they have established a global brand that is seen really as a premium beer brand. And they thought, well, we want to move beyond being a premium beer brand. We want to become an Uber premium beer brand. We want to become the most premium beer brand in the world. And they looked at Apple and how has Apple become a very uber premium brand by having great design and by linking their great product to also great design. So at Heineken, they thought, let's do the same thing. Let's link our beer and our beer brand not only to music, movies, and sports, but also to design. Let's become the Apple among the beer brands. Let's become a designer brand. And they started doing that by designing a very beautiful bottle. This is the aluminium bottle that you see. So it's not a beer bottle as you know it, it's really the design edition of a beer bottle. And by doing that, they saw among consumers already that they were becoming more premium. And premiumness, of course, for a brand is important because it means that you can ask more money for your product. And that is, of course, an important thing for a commercial company like Heineken. But they thought, well, let's go one step further. Let's not only link our beer brand also to design by designing beautiful bottles, but also by designing the places in which our beer is being consumed. And that's where they started Heineken Open Design Explorations. So this is about, we already linked our brand to music, sports, movies. Now we linked our brand to design by having a beautiful bottle. We will even link our brand more to design and make it even premium by also designing or co-designing the clubs in which your beer is being consumed, the bars in which your beer is being consumed, and the restaurants in which your beer is being consumed. And this edition, the first edition, was around the club. So the goal was that Heineken would come up with a vision on the nightclub of the future. And by doing that, they would be able to support club owners all around the world with design elements to enhance the experience in their clubs and to even give advice to club owners how to make their club even more designy and more premium. And by doing that, of course, in a Heineken branded way, in every club that uses products of Heineken, that uses the advice of Heineken, you would see a beautifully designed club, Heineken branded or Heineken co-branded. And of course, the idea is that that would enforce or reinforce the whole design element linked to Heineken as a beer brand. So, what did we do, or what was the challenge for us as researchers? Well, the club needs to be designed, and Heineken decided that they wouldn't ask their own design agency to do that, but they would love to involve young designers from around the world to design the club. Those young designers need to co-create among each other in an online way. That was the second challenge. And of course, it's about bringing designers together, and designers can make beautiful stuff, but it's about also understanding what clubbers want in a club. And based on that market research, on those insights, that should inspire the designers to not only come up with a beautiful club, but also with a club that is meaningful towards the end users of that club, towards the clubbers. And a last challenge that we had was, well, we can do beautiful research among clubbers on how they want to have a club in the future. We can have the best designers in the world, but those designers need to get those insights. And designers are a very difficult target group to talk to if you're a market researcher, because designers don't like market researchers that much. Designers want to make beautiful things, and they don't want market researchers to tell them what they should design and how they should design it. So that were four challenges. I will go over each of the four challenges and tell you more about how we solved it. So challenge number one is, how can we find young designers all around the world who can design this club? Well, actually, together with Heineken, we organized in 5 different cities around the world. In Latin America, there was in Sao Paulo. We organized Pechacucha sessions. So actually, sessions with short presentations in which designers could pitch their work. And by doing that, we found in those different cities around the world each time 4 different designers, motion designers, graphic designers, interior designers, fashion designers, light designers, all those types of designers. So by organizing in 4 cities around the world, each time we found 5 different designers from 5 different design domains, and those 20 designers were chosen actually out of more than 200. And those 20 designers were the design team, the crowdsourced design team for this whole exercise. Then the second challenge was, those designers are all in different places in the world. How can we let them work together on designing that club? Well, for doing that, we had an online collaboration platform. So on that online collaboration platform, the people from Heineken could brief and work together with the 20 designers around the world, and the 20 designers from around the world, sitting at different places in different time zones, could also work together on this online space. So it was an online workshop almost. So we already have 20 young designers from around the world who can design this club that needs to reinforce the design link to the Heineken brand. And we have an online platform on which Heineken can work together with those designers, and the designers can also work with each other. But now the most important part of the project comes. We need to inspire those designers with market research results, with insights and inspiration from people who in the end need to use that club, the clubbers actually. Because designers can design beautiful stuff, but that's not the most important thing. If that club wants to be successful, the club not only needs to look beautiful, it also needs to fulfill the wishes and the needs of the clubbers. Only then the club will
Tom,
be a beautiful club and beautifully designed. Yes?
Tom, I think, I don't know, we are just watching one slide. Are you
Oh, I'm moving a
going
lot
through
of
your,
slides. Yes, I'm moving a lot of slides.
because it's a spy. Okay. You have to use the full screen. Full screen is, at your right
Yes.
hand.
Have you seen this slide? Do you see my slides now?
No, you have to use your full screen. You know the no, now we see you. Okay. Okay. The slideshow. You have to use a slideshow.
Do you see them
And
now?
now, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that was the slide you have seen all the time, this one. All right. So I will just move through the slides and tell me if you see them. So this was the beautifully designed bottle I was talking about that they started with. Then I told you about let's move on and let's not only design a beautiful bottle, but let's also design the club of the future. And I hope that you now see my slides moving. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes?
we are seeing the bottle, the beautiful bottle.
Yes. And now you see challenges.
Okay.
Is that
Yes.
correct?
Uh-huh.
All right. So that were the four challenges I was talking about. And now I'm moving one by one over the four different challenges. So challenge number one was finding the multidisciplinary team of 20 designers from around the world. And I said that we found those by organizing Pechakucha sessions in four different cities. And it looked a little bit like this, in which 200 designers pitched their work. And in the end, we have chosen 20. And then I told you about that other challenge that we need to find a way to let those designers work together and co-create with each other. And we did that through this beautiful online collaboration platform. And now I was about to talk about the third challenge. And the third challenge is also bringing in the inspiration from the consumers, bringing in the consumer insights so that those designers not only design a beautiful club, but also a club that is meaningful to designers, to clubbers, because only then the club will be a true experience and will be truly successful for Heineken. How did we involve those clubbers from around the world? Well, we started a online research community or consumer consulting board, as we call that. What is that? That's an online platform like you see now on the screen, on which we bring together a larger group of consumers for a longer period of time. So it's an online platform. That means that consumers can be on the platform when they want. They can answer questions when they have time. It's an online platform, so that means that they don't need to travel to participate, like in classical research. So they can do it from the convenience of their own house, of their own home. Online platform also means that it feels very safe for participants to participate because they can say whatever they want. It's a little bit anonymous, so they will tell you just more. It's still the case that we have invited people with a very specific profile to this platform. So that's the same like in traditional focus groups. We still invite the people we choose who can participate and who not based on their profile. But what is really different is that we work with more people. We had 150 clubbers on this platform for months long. So months long, we worked together. We listened to the needs of 150 clubbers from cities all around the world, and they talked to each other in English. So you could say if you compare this with a traditional qualitative research, with traditional focus groups, with traditional ways of getting input from consumers or clubbers in this case, it's way longer, it's with more people, and it's very convenient for the people because it's online. I call it sometimes a focus group on steroids. And on this platform, we ask them questions, we let them have discussions. They could upload pictures also through their mobile phone and videos while they were clubbing. So it's truly like a Facebook platform, but then to do research with 150 clubbers for weeks and months long. That's how you need to see it. And that's the way that we connected with people from around the world, clubbers from around the world, and how we got the input from clubbers from around the world to tell actually the designers who are at their part of the platform collaborating and thinking about that club on the future to tell them what the needs and wishes were of those clubbers. So we had 120 participants from 20 different countries on this platform. So that were clubbers, people who all went to a nightclub at least once a week. They also were into design because design was the topic, and they were not a fan of Heineken, but they were also not a rejecter of Heineken as a brand, and they were not a rejecter of beer. So 120 people, 120 consumers, clubbers from 20 countries brought together here on this online platform to really inspire the designers with what they were looking for in their ideal clubbing experience. So what did we talk about for weeks, for months on that community? Well, we talked about how do you club? What do you like in clubbing? What's the role of clubbing in your life? What is the best club you have ever been to? What is the worst club you have ever been to? What were things that you liked, that you disliked, that you missed? How is your ideal clubbing experience looking like? And we really did that by organizing discussions, by letting people fill out questionnaires one to one, by also letting them upload pictures and movies while they were actually in the club on a Saturday evening. So actually, we were for weeks and for months, we were actually connected to more than 120 consumers, clubbers around the world, and that was our input to tell the designers how the club of the future should look like, not how beautiful it should be or how it should be designed, but actually what the experience should be, what the meaning in people's lives should be. So we actually already went through three challenges. So Heineken wants to link themselves to design as a beer brand, to become an uber premium beer brand. And in order to do that, we have found a group of designers who will design the club. And we have a platform for the designers to work together with the people of Heineken and to work together with each other. And we also have already found 120 clubbers from around the world to inspire those designers and give them inspiration on not how this club should look like, but how useful and interesting it should be for them. And then we have the fourth challenge. And our fourth challenge is, well, we have research done through the community. There are designers on that other side of the collaboration platform, and we need to inspire them with those insights. We need to tell them what those clubbers want. And normally, researchers present their research results by a presentation, by having a PowerPoint document. And we love lots of slides. In most of the cases, we share our thinking in 100 slides or more. Designers don't like research at all. They like to design. They don't like to look at research results. They don't like to listen to PowerPoint presentations of 2 hours, and they don't like market researchers. So we needed to find a new way to present our research results to them, a way that would fit with them. And we thought, well, designers love visual things. Designers love to play a bit. Designers love to be inspired by snappy elements. So we thought, let's not come up with a PowerPoint report, but let's come up with a iPad application. So our research results were not presented in a 2 hour presentation showing 100 PowerPoint slides. No, we designed a very simple iPad application to let the designers from around the world literally play with the research result and be inspired by the research results. And this is the application that you see. And actually, in the application, what happens? Well, we go or we take the designers through a night out and how people experience a night out, how they get together with friends in the beginning, how they discover and enter the club, how they go for a drink to the bar, how they dance, how they chill out after dancing, and how they end the night and go home. And for each of those different sceneries, we had, like you see here on this slide, we had the importance of that moment and the design opportunities in the little graphs. And next to the graphs in that one sentence, there is the importance of that moment in the total experience of a night out. And you see all the red dots. Well, if you click on a red dot, a pop-up will pop up and will tell you what people in that particular moment want and need. So that are the consumer insights. So a totally new and different way of reporting research results. This is never seen, I think, before. And the designers loved this. This is their world. They love to play with things. They love things snappy, short. They love things visual. So this was an ideal way to communicate all those beautiful insights, more than 30 insights that we found through those designers. Otherwise, we would have done a great community for weeks, for months with those 120 consumers. We would have found lots of insights, but if we had communicated them just in a 2 hour presentation of 100 slides, they wouldn't even have listened to us. They would probably have fallen asleep. And now we had found a way to bring our insights across to those people. What I will now do in the last part of my presentation, this was, by the way, the first sketches of the club. And we also used the community to, when the first sketches were coming in, to test if the clubbers were loving this. What I will now do is tell you how the designers took the insights that we have given them through the application and how they designed not only beautiful stuff for the club by using that, but also that the things they designed were really meaningful for consumers. I will guide you through the results. First, I will show you how the club looked like when it was finally built. Enjoy this little movie.
Tom?
Yes?
Yeah, we didn't hear anything.
Okay, but you saw the movie?
Yeah, okay,
Yes. Okay, there
okay.
was a little bit of additional music, but that's okay. But you have seen glimpse of the club as it was at the very end, because the club opened in Milan at the end of the project. and you see that it's a truly holistic clubbing experience. What I will do now is tell you more about each of the different elements that you saw in that short movie, and how the designers, like I said, took an insight and turned it into from the application and turned it into a real life product in the club. So first thing is that we learned in the community, the insight here was that when people visit the club, that the personnel of the club, the people who are serving the beer, who are taking your jacket when you come in, the doorman, that how friendly those people are and how they look and how they behave, that is a very important part of how you experience the club, how happy you are at the end of the night. So in order to do that, based on the what we learned from the people in the community, we gave a training, a friendliness training to all the staff of the club. And based also on the comments, the fashion designers created clothing that was fitting the club and that was fitting the total experience. So based actually on what consumers, clubbers were telling us, fashion designers designed the clothing of the people in the club that was fitting the whole experience that you saw in the movie, and also based on how people want to interact with bartenders, people who take your jackets, doormen. We gave a friendliness training to all those people because we found in the community that how people look who serve you in a club, the personnel, how they behave is very important part of a night out. And by the way, another element that we found is that um, if people serve beer, serving beer is very difficult for a bar, for a waiter and a bartender, because if they need to carry, like you see in the picture here, if they need to carry the tray with the beer on, and then they need to also open the beer, that's a very clumsy kind of experience because they go to the people who are sitting at the table, they need to put the tray down and they then need to open the beers one by one. That's not a very sexy experience. So what the designers designed is a tray in which is built in something to open the beer while you're still carrying the tray, and that's the Heineken Star. So by having this specially designed tray, the bar tender or the waiter can just carry on the tray. He or she takes a bottle of beer, opens it with one movement by using the Heineken Star without the need to put the tray on a table. So here, this enhances the experience actually of serving beer in a club. That's the whole idea. And again, designers would not come up with something that is and beautiful and meaningful and enhancing the experience if they weren't inspired by consumers. Another one is this one. When going for a drink, in most of the cases, it's you are a group of friends, and one person needs to go one by one. One person needs to go to the bar to order the drinks, actually, and that's a very lonely thing because your friends are still dancing, and you need to go for the beers to the bar or for the drinks to the bar. And other people are waiting there, but you're not social with those other people because you don't know them. Second problem at the bar that we know from clubbers in the community is that girls are always first served, served first by the bartender, and men need to wait longer. That's what we knew from the community as well. So, what did, based on this, these insights coming from people in the community, from clubbers in the community, what did the designers come up with? An interactive bar. So a bar that looks like a huge iPad, and if you come at the bar, you click on it, the Heineken bottle pops up, and in the Heineken Star there is a number, the number that you have, and you will be served by the number that you have. So the first person to comes to the bar will be served beer first. So the bar owner always knows the order. And unfortunately for the girls are not being served first anymore by the bar owner. Now that both boys and girls need to wait there at the bar while their friends are still dancing, they can also be social. So if you click on the interactive bar on the bottle, you can turn it around and you can also send, let's say, a message if you are a guy to a beautiful girl at the other end of the bar. So by having this interactive bar, waiting at the bar becomes more fair and honest because boys and girls both need to wait now. And the waiting at the bar, which is normally an awkward, asocial moment, all of a sudden becomes a way to connect with people other than your friends who are dancing still. Another one, an insight from the community, is if you're dancing, you want to really go loose and you really want to dance. But if you have a drink, that's very difficult. It's very difficult to dance with a drink in your hands. So what did the designers come up with? They came up with this kind of shelf in which you can put your drink while dancing. And again, you can go back then and take your drink because you have a number. So it's a little bit like you go and you give your jacket and you get a number back. And so you don't need to carry your jacket all night long. Well, if you want to dance and you still have a drink, you can also leave your drink behind. Again, it's something that a designer normally wouldn't design because this looks beautiful, but it's not very special. But just based on the consumer needs, designers designed this. Another one is when you go home, you want to have like a remembrance to the night. So also the designers came up with a couple of ways that you could leave your lost stamp, let's say. They created at the exit of the club a wall that you could leave your name on, so that you could leave a little note or say, I was here with my friends and I had a great night. There was also a beautifully designed photo booth so that you could take a Polaroid picture as, let's say, a remembrance of that night out with your friends. And the last one is that people also said when you leave a club, the end of the experience is not nice. Even at the end of a night, it's almost the light goes on, and they kick you out. So what we came up with based on that is a concierge service. So at the end, at the exit of the club, there were two guys asking, "Can we still do something for you? Can we call a taxi for you? Do you know how to go home?" Or if people really went drunk, they would even take them home. So what you see in this project is Heineken had the ambition to become a designer brand, to become an uber premium brand. And they already designed beautiful bottles, but they wanted to go one step further, also designing the moments in which beer was consumed, in this case, the club. And afterwards, we did the restaurant and the lounge bar. And they did that by bringing together designers from around the world, letting those designers co-create with each other and with Heineken on an online collaboration platform. But that was not enough. Designers only can deliver something meaningful if they also have inspiration from clubbers. We did that through the research community. So that's where the consumer insights come in. And if we had to inspire designers, we couldn't use a 2-hour presentation and a 100-slide PowerPoint report. We needed to be more creative. That's where the iPad application to bring the insights to the designers came into the running. And in the last bit, you saw how insights were taken by designers to turn an insight into a real product towards consumers, towards those clubbers. So this really shows, I think, this case that research can have an impact even on creative industries, and that if you communicate, if you generate good insights like in the research community and you communicate them well, it can have a big impact on the end product, like the club that Heineken created in Milan. And we know from quantitative research that the club was rated as the best clubbing experience that the clubbers who visited it had ever had in their whole life. And they all linked the club to design, and they linked the club to Heineken. So that's where the link comes between Heineken and design. Now, some of the concepts of that club that they created in Milan are also commercialized and can be seen Heineken branded in clubs all around the world. So this is how Heineken moved beyond only designing a beautiful bottle to designing beautiful trays, beautiful clothing for personnel in the club, an interactive bar that can be seen in many different clubs already around the world. So this is how Heineken links itself to design, and I think it's a great idea and it's a great project. This was my presentation. I'm open for a couple of questions if there would be questions in the audience. I hope that everything was clear, and sorry for the two little technical issues along the way. So I'm open for questions.
Okay, Tom, thank you so much. Let's see. Questions? Well, Tom, someone wants to know if you have done, you have followed the research, the results, or track the results.
Yeah, you mean over time? Is it that what you mean? If we track the results for Heineken over time, if it had an impact on their sales and on their brand,
Ah,
is it that what you mean?
yeah.
Yeah. So what we have seen is that by doing this project, but also afterwards by having those Heineken branded innovations from that concept club in Milan, in clubs all around the world that were Heineken branded, we see indeed that it has an impact on the Heineken brand. Heineken as a brand is more linked to design, and secondly. We also see that by becoming a more premium designer brand, they can ask more money for their brand. What we have seen is that it's not something that you can do once and you will see an effect. It's something that you need to constantly reinforce. Just like they already for years link themselves to movies, music, and sports, this is an effort that has taken them years to link themselves to designs. First through the bottle, then through the nightclubs, then through the lounge bars, and now through the restaurants. So it takes them quite a couple of years. So you need to be consistent and persistent in this in order to see an effect. So it was not in the first weeks or months that we saw an effect. It's only after a couple of years by constantly investing in this type of initiatives that we saw an effect on Heineken being linked to design and Heineken being more successful in sales and in the money they can ask for their beer.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question is regarding the platform. Did you build that for that project, or is a common platform for all the projects you conduct?
Yeah, it's a common platform for all the projects we conduct, but we tweak it. We give it a look and feel of the brand, but it's one platform that we use for all our projects that we do in the space of co-creation with consumers around the world. And there are many different platforms that are very easy to use. I think even if you would like to do a project, university project or a student project with a platform like this, there are by now many of those platforms that you can use and tweak according to the topic or the brand that you're working for.
Oh, well, that's nice. So, hello?
How exactly did you do the consumers selection,
Yeah,
the people?
yeah, good question. So selection was based on we needed 120 people from 20 different countries, so 6 people per country. Actually, they need to be fluent in English. They all needed to be into design, not rejecting beer, not rejecting Heineken as a brand, and a club. Where did we find them? Well, we sourced them through the Heineken Facebook page. So we did a call for participants on the Heineken Facebook page that has a couple of million of fans. But we weren't looking actually for fans. We were people connected with the Heineken brand on Facebook, into design, into clubbing, and not necessarily a Heineken fan, but also not rejecting beer and Heineken. So you have criteria to select them on and to put quota on, and you have then where you find them. And where we found them was in this case on Facebook, but in other cases that can be a client database, that can be a panel of people who want to participate in market research. We already did projects where we literally recruited people on the streets offline. So it's more the criteria that you want them to meet that are important than the source where you try to find them. You just go and look for them in the place where you think you can find those people in the easiest way. I hope that is answering your question.
Okay. Another question? Well, Tom, I think is all. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I know it's time to go to bed there, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed it. If there are more questions, feel free to ask them over email or over Twitter, and feel free to connect with me also on LinkedIn. Happy to stay connected and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much, and bye bye.
No, thank you, Tom. Bye. Thank you so much.